Cześć, witam bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku gry Disciples Liberation, z tej strony Ngelo Querro. Aktualnie znajdujemy się znowu w Zaświatach, bo jak zwykle umarliśmy najprawdopodobniej. Po ostatnich wydarzeniach, cóż, pozostaje nam uciec z tej domeny. Co my tu mamy? Tutaj mamy Łotana. Your hand moves instinctively for your weapon, but you stop, shocked. The figure ahead of you is Orion, but Orion is already standing next to you.
Whoa, hey, who the... You stay right there, me!
The other Orion only smiles. He stares at you, or perhaps through you. His eyes never quite seem to focus.
Who are you? What do you want?
You came to me, gloaming child. You and the other scavengers who picked at my corpse for whatever power you could glean.
Wotan?
Yes, or something very near to Wotan.
Impossible.
The dead god.
We saw your body. It was decaying. You're dead.
I did wage war against the elven god Galleon and won. I tore his heart out and hurled it into the sun. I did fall to Solonial's rage. Mortis, the goddess that rose from that rage, did kill me, and all the dwarves of Nevendar out of revenge. But Nevendar is not the only plane, and Wotan is not the only Wotan.
Ciekawa definicja.
I don't understand. We were at your grave. The god vein ruptured. If this isn't the four heavens...
You are the gloaming child, Aviana, the twilight between light and dark. This is a place of neither.
Then where is this?
Do you not suspect? This is Urdva.
The word resonates. Urdva.
The corporeal anchoring of the ethereal.
Urdva, the madness between worlds. The elves say it is where the shades of the gods rest.
The necromancers call it the plane of slights, realm of neither living nor dead.
Explain this illusion.
Wotan turns his unfocused gaze to Orion. He seems unimpressed.
I was once the patron god of the dwarves. Perhaps this diminutive form is how your mind is capable of interpreting me.
Wotan turns his strange gaze back to you.
Now then,
Wait, did a god just insult me for being short?
You're barely able to think the question before Orion interrupts, somewhat overwhelmed.
Alright, so some kind of god realm, or whatever, and hear me out. We're all dying of mana poisoning and having a deathbed vision.
We wouldn't be having the same vision.
Maybe I'm having the vision, and I just imagined you said that? Wait, maybe my whole life was a vision. Maybe you were never real. Maybe I'm not real. I'm spiraling. Avi, make this better. Talk to the God-Man with my face and fix this.
Orion puts his head in his hands. Wotan's grin shifts slightly. There's something indulgent in it.
Urdva is difficult for the mortal mind. This is the plane of slights, where the corporeal forms of gods exist.
I still don't understand how you can exist at all. Unless Mortis raises you, once you're dead, you're dead.
Wotan is dead in Nevendar. Wotan is alive in Urdva. You are light and you are darkness, but you are still you. I am a dream, a memory, a premonition. But I am Wotan.
Tell me more about this plane of slights. I don't even know what that means, frankly.
Urdva, the plane of slights. A place where shadows of gods rest. Oh, the tatters of my memory of such a place. Corruption has seeped into this memory. The pollution of the rot and royal of Nevendar.
Your memory of Urdva? You mean we're inside your memory? We're in your mind?
Wotan almost chuckles. It is unsettling.
No, and yes, you are beginning to know me, to know the divine. There is no other way to explain it to a mortal mind. This is real, but it is also a memory that rots.
But if this is a memory, does that mean I've already been here? Are you remembering me?
Child, you've always been here, and you will never be here.
All right, can I just stop pretending that I understand and go straight to hating this?
You said know me. You're Wotan. I know that. What else am I supposed to know?
We must know the corruption and creation that trails in our wake. In your world, I hammered the mountains and the valleys. I watched over the dwarves for a time. They led me to disagree with the gods Galleon and Saloniel. I ripped the heart from Galleon's chest and threw it into the sun.
Melandrach's eyes narrow bitterly, but he holds his tongue.
Well earned.
Saloniel struck me down. Then, to save her love's heart, she threw herself into the sun. She returned as the burned horror, Mortis.
You think you detect the slightest twitch in Amelior's cheek as she glares at Wotan with regal stoicism.
You should be thanked for giving us such a magnificent goddess.
I murder and am murdered. I create and am recreated. The connections between gods, between mortals, between worlds. They corrupt, they grow. You are a nexus of connections, blooming child. The potential corruption that follows in your wake. Know the gods and learn.
Enough of this madness. I'm leading us out of here.
The corruption seeping in from the rot of Nevendar eats at your return, even as it eats at my mind. Cleanse Urdva, and you may yet find a way.
Good. So there is a way home from this place.
A way to exist, gloaming child. Here, you are the half-born memory of a dream. But that is at least something. The price of failure in this universe is nothing.
Okay. O Jezu, będziemy teraz tutaj mieli takie dziwne istoty. You see Outlandian, the jailer you encountered in the Wildlands and in Wotan's grave ahead. He is dropped in chains and is idly playing with a cruelty-barbed hook.
Okay, so you're not actually the jailer we met. What fever dream god are you then?
I am Ars, the Lord of Chains.
Of course you are.
I am the binder and the keeper. You are not supposed to be here. You are supposed to be chained in place.
Speak of chains. Earn death.
Yes, yes, we all think you're very brave. Please don't get us in a fight with gods.
Binder and keeper? Sounds like glorified servitude.
Oh, it is. Gloriously so.
You barely manage to stop Bactal from charging the god. Ilmerian narrows her eyes. A look of naked hatred clouds her beautiful moment.
In all the pantheons of all the gods, no one's ever written about you or spoken about you. No legends, no songs.
You are of the 10th epoch of Nevendar, but there are many more eras and ages, rises and falls, than what those epochs would reveal to you. I am proof of that.
If you're the god of chains, are you the reason the gods are trapped here?
Trapped. The Urdva, the plane of slights, is but one of an infinite number of realms in which we exist. The gods are not trapped.
So you're the god of those held captive?
Not just the jailer, but the jailed. Not just the chain, but those in chains. I am the whip that cracks, and I am the skin beneath. The same could be said of you, Nephilim.
We're leaving the plane of slights.
The corrupted tissue recalls in a hiss of agony. Whatever it is no more. Nieźle, ciekawie się tu dzieje. No dobra. Galean. Before you stand Cohen, but the madness in his eyes is like nothing you saw on Nevenda.
Cowan of the Whitelands. What are you doing here?
When the figure speaks, his voice changes from the gentle whisper of wind in trees into the horrid scream of a beast.
I have become many things, but I was Galleon.
Muriel gasps and bows her head. Melendrak looks at his god with naked disappointment.
Galleon, the god of the elves.
Gallian pulls at his hair and claws at his skin.
Galleon, god of the elves, of the trees, of many things, and then nothing. Wotan ripped my heart out, but gods don't die, right?
You look around at the strange memory plane of that god that surrounds you.
I've noticed. The scribes write the tale, your heart was torn out by Wotan and hurled into the sun. But why?
My people say it was Wotan's jealousy, but it was not. It was fate. The schism was coming. Wotan's many divisions to many planes was coming. Solonial's death and rebirth was coming. The fate hand clasped us. We are gods, but against our fate we are nothing.
I've only heard legends of how you created life on Nevendar. What actually happened?
We were lovers. All of us. Bethrazen, Solonial, Wotan, and me. Bethrazen formed Nevendar, and it was the first schism. It tore us apart. Solonial and I clung together. Her tears were the rivers, my seed were the trees. Your world was the greatest creation in the universe, and it was doomed from the start.
The elves are split, desperate. They need you.
The schism, the epoch that fated the elves to divide, was inevitable. Nevendar is a land of divisions. It is cursed.
We're finding a way back to Nevendar, Galleon. Come with us. Your people need you.
Zaraz będę zbierać armię bogów.
She brought me back. But she was... and I was... I came back as Galleon the Twisted. Galleon the Divided. Galleon the Shifting. I cannot go back again.
My lord, please. We need you whole and returned. We need you to make us whole again.
No. No. I must not be bent to others, not again. Not a creature of your world, just a creature.
Galleon steps away, his voice following after him like the echo of babbling brook or the cries of a wounded animal. No nieźle, muszę przyznać. Co my tu mamy? The High Father. Before you, you see Sebastian. Sebastian throws himself to his knees before himself. It's a strange sigh.
Who are you? Really?
I am the High Father. The angels are my children. The Empire are my children. You are all my children.
Ilmirian laughs bitterly. The High Father does not seem to notice.
But, Father, you don't speak to mortals. You don't speak to anyone.
Orion, hold your tongue.
The High Father ignores Orion. He looks only at you.
But you are unique amongst my children, aren't you? The demon in you won't quite let you bow, but you nod your head respectfully.
Unique is a good way to say it. I am the Nephilim, Aviana. I am the child of Horus, and your child, Inoel.
You are all my children, Aviana. But my light throws shadow, and some of my children have slipped into that shadow.
My mother was the angel Inoel. She was sent to Nevendar to destroy it, on your orders.
At my displeasure, universes dissolve into entropy. At my whim, stars explode into being. The greatest gift I can give Nevendar is my indifference. Consider it a blessing.
People love you. They dedicate their minds, they mar their bodies, they throw their life into praising you.
Child, if I did not ask for them, do you think I asked for their adulation? I will not celebrate your victories, just as I do not relish your defeats. Love is not indulgence.
The High Father's side. He shifts his weight. It is strangely physical for such a being.
The people of Nevendar pray. For epochs they pray. Why don't you answer those prayers?
Your world, child. I never wanted it. Nevendar was a mistake, an impetuous flourish from one of my wayward. It is true, I have often turned from your world.
Sebastian tries not to gasp. He very nearly succeeds. Corysandra stifles a soft sob.
You act indifferent, but you're here and you're speaking to me. There must be a reason.
Because you are something new. Something I will need to turn my attention to. For better or for worse.
What does that mean?
Something I'll do? Something I won't do? What do you mean?
You have time yet before I turn my eyes to you. Be strong, child.
In a vile and sizzling mess, the corruption hurls itself away from you in what can only be described as fear.
That's two. Feels like we're getting close.
Dobra, jeszcze zostały dwa z tego co widzę. You see Pelma, the vampire you encountered in Wotan's grave. She smiles at you and her image seems to ripple. She is beautiful, elven and luminous. Then she is horrid, rotting and enraged. You gasp as the figure before you holds up something shining and bloody, the heart of a god. She raises her hand, beautiful and light, rotting and burned.
Mortis, goddess of undeath.
Charlie attempts to glare haughtily into the dead eyes of Mortis. She fails. Charlie lowers her gaze and bows her head, przepraszam.
My queen! My everything!
Ejimar prostrates himself before the shifting image of the horror before you. You see him fumble at his ropes and then decide not to watch him any longer. The dead and killing goddess grins and looks around at your party. You see both beauty and skeletal mocking in her face.
Soon.
And with that, Mortis is gone. Szybko poszło. You see a figure clad in shadow, her face obscured by her hood, longing by the last pustule of corruption. By the tilt of her head, she appears to be admiring it.
Your name?
Wajin, goddess of horrors that sleep beneath the waves. Maybe.
You seem uncertain.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of whores and bastards. Maybe.
I've heard of no such god. I thought Solonial was goddess to the mer people.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of winds and wastes. Maybe.
Kuwaijin. My name is Aviana.
Pozapomniała dodać maybe.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of lies and truths. Maybe.
State your true name and do it now.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of dream and horror. Maybe.
If you're playing some kind of game, Kuwaijin, I'm in no mood.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of murder and love. Maybe.
You're many-titled. I understand the burden. Lately they've been calling me Liberator.
And drunkard.
Wow, that one's at least deserved. Maybe even a bit of an understatement.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of gibbets and nooses. Maybe.
You roll your eyes seemingly uneasy with those around you. If these were going somewhere, you wouldn't know it.
Right. I'm Aviana. And you?
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of lust and slaking. Maybe.
I am leaving.
I am Kuwaijin, goddess of beggars and fools. Maybe.
No dobra. With the third blockade released, a cold gust of crisp, wintry air rushes past. You know it well, Nevendar,
We're
home.
doing it! There's a way out,
Nie zdziwiłbym się, jakby to była jakaś pułapka czy coś. At the precipice between the plane of slides and Nevendar you stop. If you step forward, you may never return. You step back hesitantly. This may be your only chance to speak to the gods after all. Dobra, zobaczmy, czy jeszcze ktoś czegoś nie będzie miał do powiedzenia. Ale chyba raczej nie bardzo.
Wotan, I have questions. You said know me. You're Wotan. I know that. What else am I?
We must know the corruption and creation that trails in our wake. The rest...
No dobra, to ty generalnie o tym to żeśmy już rozmawiali. Nie wiem dlaczego znowu to było... Nie wiem dlaczego znowu to było zaznaczone, że niby nie rozmawiałem. Teraz pytanie brzmi, czy mogę porozmawiać i czy mają coś do powiedzenia jeszcze ci. No, dokładnie. Te opcje znowu się podświetlają jako nieprzeczytane, że tak powiem, więc... Trochę bez sensu. No dobra, wychodzimy stąd. You step forward, simultaneously confident and nervous. Nevendar awaits. Ciekawe w takim wypadku, co nas zabiło. Czy to był Wotan, który chciał zobaczyć to, czy nie? The haze around you settles in a low fog of glowing light and dissipates completely. You're back.
Knives, check. Body, check. Boyish good looks.
You're fine, you're fine. Maybe an inch taller, actually.
Har, har, har.
Orion checks his haze against yours just to be sure you were joking before changing the conversation.
So what do you think that place was? Urdva? The plane of slights?
Part of me hopes we never know and never have to go back. What matters is we're free and safe.
No argument there. I know we say this a lot these days, but this hasn't exactly gone to plan.
No, but the elves and undead both just heard the message. Ilion is here, and has as much a right to Wotan's grave as anyone.
And if Urdva was the afterlife,
O,
I'd say the gods heard it too.
osiągnięcie zaskoczyło, w związku z czym my też zyskaliśmy tutaj coś ciekawego. Oczywiście przedmioty jakieś ciekawe. Co prawda tam żeśmy za bardzo nie walczyli z nikim. Też tutaj mamy wszystko pozbierane, co mieliśmy do zebrania. Możemy sobie od razu też w sumie zebrać tutaj resursy. O, zbierało się trochę tej kasy. No i w tym momencie kończymy ten odcinek, bo jakby nie spojrzeć, to w kolejnym będziemy się szykować do przejścia do kolejnej lokacji. Tymczasem dziękuję wam bardzo za uwagę w tej podróży po Urdva i do zobaczyska w kolejnym odcinku na etapie przygotowania i wędrówki na nowy rejon. Do zobaczyska.